waiting for the Labor Party, which wanted the urgent debate to take the call. But anyway, Mr Speaker, I don't have much more to add to what my good friend and colleague Simeon Brown, the Honourable Simeon Brown, has said in his contribution. This is really a waste of Parliament's time. A minister made a mistake. He owned up and took accountability for it, and he resigned. I mean, the matter is literally as simple as that. Over on the side of the House, we believe in ministerial accountability. Whether or not he resigned or was going to be sacked is actually not that material to the point. The point is there was a minister who was doing a good job. I think most people agree as Minister of Commerce and Consumer Affairs. He made a mistake. He acted inappropriately. He accepts that, and then very quickly he resigned. The matter literally is as simple as that, and that is exactly what happened. And that has been well canvassed throughout the media, but also in this debate. There's not much more to the situation than that. And the fact that the Labor Party has called for an urgent debate and then apparently doesn't seem to want to say very much about it, I think.
Point of order. The Honourable Kamasipalani.
Mr Speaker, the inference from that member is that Labor missed a call. It was New Zealand First's call that he has taken, and I want to put that on the record so that he's not giving incorrect information to any members of the public that may be watching.
And at the time, you might have heard me say that was inappropriate comment. Oh, well, that's, you shouldn't have done that because I've actually indulged the National Party by accepting the transfer from the New Zealand First Party, so it's not a particularly smart line. My apologies, I was actually trying to work out the rest of what might be said, who else might be speaking in this debate, because it is somewhat disorganised and unclear. But the member can continue without that line of offering to the House.
I apologise, Mr Speaker, but the overall point I'm trying to make is this, which is that there is not much more to this issue than that hasn't already been said, both in the first half an hour of this urgent debate, but also that has been well traversed in the media. And I'll just point out, Mr Speaker, that the Parliament has, over the last few years, or the last 18 months to 2 years in particular, been witness to a series of degrading incidents to the standards and the mana of the Parliament. And suffice it for me to point out the litany of appalling incidents that happened in the last year of the outgoing Labor government's administration. Need I remind members about Meka Whaitiri, who went through a long process to do with an incident all the way back in 2018, fought it all the way. The contrast to this particular incident is extremely clear, which is that something happened. The minister owned up and accepted responsibility. There was no long investigation which produced an outcome and then eventual removal as a minister. In relation to Meka Whaitiri, the incident was on 27th of August 2018. Prime Minister was advised 2 days later, so very similar to what happened in relation to Mr Bailey's case. Ms Whaitiri stood aside a day later, but there was a month-long investigation before Ms Whaitiri was removed as a minister, and then of course a couple of years later she was actually reinstated. The contrast with this is pretty apparent. I think members better work it out, which is that there was an incident, the Prime Minister and his office was advised about what happened, and 2 days or so later Mr Bailey stood down as a minister. It is really as simple as that. And of course, we need not traverse the long history of the Michael Wood matter, where on, I forget the exact number of occasions which Michael Wood was, 17, thank you, I knew my friends would remind me, in which the Cabinet Office advised Michael Wood to divest his shares in Auckland Airport and Contact Energy on 17 separate occasions, and none of that happened. And in the meantime, the Prime Minister of the time knew about that, or at least their office knew about that, and nothing was done. So if you want to talk about accountability and talk about, as Mr Hipkins was voluminously exclaiming at length in his initial contribution to the debate, if you want to talk about accountability and the jobs that Prime Ministers absolutely have to do, I would point him to the Michael Wood saga of 2022, 2023, and so on. I'd also point him to the Kiri Allen disaster, which of course we don't need to go into the precise details of, but I think everyone watching is familiar with exactly what happened there. And then of course the Stuart Nash affair. Now Stuart Nash has become a friend to the side of the House in recent days because of his voluminous support for the government's action when it comes to citizens' arrest. And whether or not he's still a member of the Labor Party is unclear or not, but certainly not from the way he's... Certainly, well, I'm making the point, well, we're having a debate about ministerial resignations, in particular the resignation of the Honourable Andrew Bailey, and I'm just simply pointing out that if we're going to have a debate about it, we need to view things in the round. Is this the downfall of the government? No, of course it isn't. Did Mr Bailey act badly? Yes. Did he take accountability and resign? Yes, he did. And that is really the end of the matter.
Debbie Nuttall.
Still really, as you say, the theme of blame Labor, find something that Labor's done wrong, we'll call it accountability, while not.
Once again, he's not talking about whatever it is that Bailey has done. He's trying to say that, yes, our leader's useless, but we're fine with that because their leader's useless too.
God, that's a good way of putting it.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, News Guide, the Order Paper